Okay, so that was question one. Like, what's explanatory analysis is? It's in the slide. In fact, in the midterm review, if you guys notice, I have given a star point. So those who actually watched my midterm videos on the YouTube channel, they indirectly know like what is coming in the exam, and those people actually did well. Like 4 people got 90 and above. I think they must have watched my midterm reviews carefully, because I put a star whenever it's important, right? So you can use the soup analogy, and that's the definition for question one. For question number two, I asked like what's stratified sample, what's clustering, and what's multi-stage, right? So stratified, some of you guys wrote that they are made of similar observations, and we take a random sample from each stratum. Okay, as long as you write this, that we take like a simple random sample from each stratum, I gave most of the points, okay, for this definition. For clustering, some of you guys got confused and wrote that clusters are made up of homogeneous observations. They are actually not made up of homogeneous observations. Okay, that's not homogeneous. And we use clusters because they are economical. Okay, clustering is economical. So that's also a star in the midterm review. Like if you want to just recap, you can go there and make corrections on that. So I cut some points if you don't write that we use it for. And multi-stage sample is that we take a simple random sample of clusters and then take a simple random sample of observation from the sampled clusters. Okay? And again, clusters are not made up of homogeneous observations. Some of you guys wrote they are made up of homogeneous observations. That's actually not true. Right? So that's for question 2, which had 9 points. So each part had 3 points, like cluster, stratification, and the multi-stage sampling. Okay, this one pretty straightforward. I gave a 3-star in the midterm review. In fact, in class also I have said a couple of times. So ideal experiment, some of you guys wrote best experiment or the most important experiment. I was lenient because it's the same, like ideal and best. But I would prefer if you guys write it like random sample, random assignment. That's the best case scenario. If both are same, like random sample, random assignment, very good sampling method. Very bad is no random assignment, no random sampling is this part, right? And you guys got like you can actually read through this slide. Okay, I'm not going to explain it in details because in class I have covered most of it. Right? I told you guys that it's important. Question number 4. I told that calculate the whiskers, the upper whisker and the lower whisker. First, before calculating the whisker, you guys need to calculate the interquartile range. What's the interquartile range? The upper quartile minus the lower quartile. Q3 minus Q1, you will get the interquartile range. Once you have the interquartile range, you can just plug into this formula Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. You will get the maximum with whisker. Then for lower whisker is Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. IQR is the interquartile range. So just plug it in and you get 60 and minus 20. In fact, I changed the values. In the slides, it was slightly different. It was 20 and 10. 20 minus 10, it was 10. And so you can, this video will also be uploaded. You can, so I will, those who wants to retake the exam, I can ask these questions again, like calculate the interquartile range and not the interquartile range, but the upper whisker, lower whisker. Okay, this is important. Okay, now question number 5. I asked like when mean equals to median, what type of distribution is that? Some of you guys wrote symmetric and some of you guys wrote normal. Okay, symmetric and normal is almost the same thing. Okay, so I gave points for that. But some of you guys wrote like uniform distribution. Uniform distribution is different in the sense that uniform means everything is similar in every interval. Okay, that's not symmetric or normal. Symmetric is like left hand side and right hand side are similar, or a normal distribution. And I said for left skewed, what should be the condition? Mean should be less than the median, right? For left skewed, mean of the so this is an example of left skewed, right? The mean value is less than the median. In fact, our exam score, the mean value is 81 and the median value is 86. So is it left skewed? Yes, right? So it's left skewed. What does left skewed mean? It means that a lot of people have actually done well. They have pushed up the mean. So our exam score is like this. 4 people got 90 and above. A lot of them got 85 and above. Alright? And in fact, 9 people got 80 and above. Right? So it's left skewed. Like based on our exam. So that's a classical example. Do you maybe left skewed is good in the sense that a lot of people will get good grades in the class. In fact, in my last intermediate macroeconomics course, I told you guys like close to 60% got A and A minuses. 60 or 70, Michael knows. A lot of them did really well. Like after I gave them some motivation, then they started performing well. The first exam, if you do badly, there is no problem. You know, you have a second chance, like you can retake the exam and then I will do an average and give you the average score. Is it clear for question 5? And everyone needs to submit the correction, even those who are taking the exam. So not only does
this include the extra credit that we got?
Extra credit I will add on later.
Okay. So
Extra credit you guys got for that day when in the class I did a quiz, right?
and then we commenting on the.
Commenting on the YouTube because you read, and so I'll go give those 2 points extra credit.
Okay.
So that would be added to your score.
Okay.
Okay. So those who haven't subscribed my YouTube channel, you can just go and subscribe and just put a comment and I'll just add the 2 points. Okay. I have a list like who is subscribing and who doesn't. Okay. Law of large numbers. Basically, law of large numbers states that if n goes to infinity, like when you have more observations, as n goes to infinity, the sample mean would converge to the population mean. Okay, sample mean would converge to population mean. It makes sense, right? If from this class I take this sample average only from 2 people, then it won't represent the entire class, right? I have to take the sample average of all the 11 people. Then I will get the population mean. So as I increase more number of people, the sample mean will be getting closer and closer to the original mean, right? Instead of 2 students, if I select 5 students, their mean will be closer to our overall class. If I take 7 students, it will be even closer to the overall class. If I take all 11 students, then all the sample mean would be equal to the population mean. Right? It makes sense, right? So when n goes to infinity or when the n is large, sample mean goes to the population mean. This also I put a 3-star in my midterm review session. So next time when I upload the reviews, you guys should watch it carefully and look for the star signs because those are the ones that might come up in the exam. Okay, so when I was showing in the video, I was putting stars. Okay, question 6 exactly from the example slides to find the expected winning. If you just write like up to this part, like you wrote the number of probability and also the number of I gave at least 60% of the point. Some of you guys even calculated the variance and standard deviation, but you don't need it. Okay, but I did not penalize if you did extra work. Okay, so I gave full points as long as you got the expected mean is 0.81, right? Because hard, not A's, there are like 12 of them out of 52. And A's, there are 4 of them out of 52. King of spades, only one unique card, and everything else is the remaining number of cards. Right? Is it clear? This question almost, in fact, all of you guys got it correct. The linear combination, calculating the expectation of linear combination. Question number 8. Okay. But question number 9, you guys have to use this formula: variance of ax plus by equals to a squared times variance of x plus b squared times variance of y. Right? Some of you guys, what you guys did was you did x squared and then variance of a plus y squared times variance of b. No, it should be like this. So if I go next, if the standard deviation is 1.5, it should be 1.5 squared times 2 squared. Okay, and then variance of S and variance of C. Okay, so you get the total variance, but standard deviation is root of the variance, so it should be root of 120.25. Okay, so that question also I have just put on the. Wait a minute. Yes, 5 squared times 4 squared, yes. And the standard variance is actually square. You know why these are square? Because these are variances. 1.5 is just the standard deviation. So that's why we squared them. Okay, some of you guys might not square them. That is also wrong. Quality control is this formula. It's very straightforward. You just have to find the z value. Once you guys found the z value, you can look at the table and it was 0.0344. Okay, almost all of you guys got it correct for the question number 10. Okay, and question 11. I am actually looking for the x value. Okay, I did not ask for z value or the mean value. Like some of you guys just wrote the mean value and reported that, but I wanted the x value. Right? So you can look through the solution. Okay, this will be uploaded on the YouTube channel. Okay, this is the question where a lot of people struggled. Like I did a survey and 26% of the people are obese. Among a random sample of 10 Americans, what is the probability that exactly 6 are obese? The formula is this: NKPK1 minus P N minus K. Alright? So N is the number of observations or the independent terms, which is 10. K is the number of successes. So it should be 6 successes, right? So 10 and 6. If you go there, 10 and 6, and this is K is 6, and this is 10 minus 6, which is 4. Okay. So the formula is NK times P. This is K. This is 1 minus P N minus K. N is 10, K is 6. 10 minus 6 is 4, and P is 0.26, and 1 minus P is 0.738. right? And this nk, 10 and 6 in this form, some of you guys wrote division. It's not division, it's like a factorial. 10 6. So 10 6 is actually 10 factorial over 6 factorial over 4 factorial. This is actually n minus k factorial. This is the formula for a 10 6 combination. N is 10, k is 6. I did it in class, but still you guys. So when you calculate that, like 10 factorial over 6 factorial over 4 factorial, you get 210 times this part. Does everyone know what a factorial is? What's 10 factorial? 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It goes up to all the points. Alright? That's 10 factorial. What's 6 factorial? 6 times 5 dot 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 times 1. It goes on to 1. So I can easily delete this with this. Right? 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 4 and 2 can be deleted with 8. I just have 3 in the bottom, so 3 and 3 cancel is 3. 10 times 3 times 7 is 210. Right? Is it clear? Okay, question 13, all of you guys got it correct mostly. Some of you guys did not calculate the standard error and just wrote 3.2 plus minus 2 into 1.74. That's wrong. 1.74 is what? Standard deviation. Right? You need to calculate standard error because the formula is point estimate plus 2 into standard error. Right? So you need to calculate the standard error, plug it in, and then you find the formula. Like it should be in your formula sheet. Right? I told you guys bring your formula sheet, write the formulas down. You will not make mistakes. Okay, the Duke example is actually an example of the hypothesis test. Okay, many of you guys actually got it wrong. First, what you have to do is actually you have to find the z value. So the null hypothesis is mu equals to 8, and the alternative is mu is greater than 8. Right? So when we calculate the z value, okay, so when we calculate the z value, it's actually x minus mu over the standard error. Okay, again you have to calculate the standard error, and when we got a z value 3.4, when z value is high, p value is low. That means we reject the null, and that suggests that yes, it is different from like it is statistically significant. Right? The null assumes that they are equals to 8, and alternate is they are greater than 8. So we reject the null that they are not equal to 8, but they are more than 8. Right? So all of you guys got confused with z and p value. If z value is large, p value is low. If p value is low, we reject null. Right, I have done it in class like couple of times, like maybe 2-3 times. In the midterm review as well, I just touched on it. So this is the relationship. Okay, you need to calculate standard error as well, because or else you can't find the z value. So There's a point for that. That's why it was worth I think 8 points or 7 points. Okay. This one you guys should have got it correct. Most of you in fact got it correct, this part. And so you guys can see if you have made some mistakes. Okay, question 16 was very straightforward. In fact, they have given the standard error, right? So you can directly plug in here. You don't have to calculate the standard error because they have given it. Right? 16 was like very straightforward. Question 17. Question 17 is at least one of them would refuse. Most of you guys did it like only did up to this part. So one of them refuse could be Alan, one of them refuse could be Brittany, one of them refuse could be Caroline, one of them refuse could be Damien. You have to add all 4 of the combinations and then you have to sum them up. Right? It's not only Alan is refusing, but Alan can refuse, Brittany can refuse, Caroline can refuse, Damien can refuse. So you have to add up all the probabilities. Alright? And the last question was actually from the homework question, and most of you guys got it correct. Right? So, and it's a 2-tailed test. So that's about the review. So make sure all of you guys submit the correction, and those who want to retake the exam, just email me. I will give a take-home exam. You guys will have like 2 days to finish it. Like reply me by Friday. Okay. If you reply me by Friday, I will upload the exam on Friday. You have to submit it by Sunday night. So 2 days, and then I'll take the average score and keep it in the right. And all of you guys, those who are not taking the exam, will get 5 extra credit points if they send all their corrections. Make sure you guys also make a copy of your exam script and hand me the copy in next class. Okay, all of you, yeah.
So, are you saying the correction will do Monday?
Monday, yeah, correction you can hand me a copy on Monday. All of you guys send me the corrections on Monday. But the makeup exam is like Friday. By Friday you should email me, and Friday night I will upload the makeup exam. Alright? Okay. So see you guys next class on Monday.